I came to terms with the fact that I was like, I do think simple is better. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, drums are fun to play. The things that people think are easy sometimes are the hardest things.
Skeleton under your bed. How could you sell me out for a kid like that? I'm doing everything I can to make you jealous. Are you jealous? Or are you nervous like your freshman year? Still can't shake this nightmare. Get me out of your hair. The truth, I know, I heard you're talking shit again. I'm gonna sleep with all your friends. It's still bad, the boys you do get back at you. You can't forget the monsters in your bed. I put a monster in your bed. Turns out the lights tucked him in and said good night. I bet you thought I'd throw the fight. Oh, you just don't know how low I can go. Like, you're making me sick, girl. I heard you're talking shit again. I'm gonna sleep with all your friends. It's still bad, the boys you do get back at you. You can't forget the monsters in your fall night again. Don't ever wanna see you again. But some my feelings aside, I'll be alright. Won't let your face keep me up all night. Start talking again, 'cause I'll go crazy again. Oh, I do this to myself, do this to myself. I found a skeleton under your bed. How could you sell me out for a kid like that? I'm doing everything I can to make you jealous. I heard you're talking shit again. I'm gonna sleep with all your friends. It's still bad, the boys you do get back at you. You can't forget. I heard you're talking shit again. I'm gonna sleep with all your friends. It's still bad, the boys you do get back at you. You can't forget the monsters in your bed.
Yeah. That was awesome, Jess.
Thank you.
So all of you out there watching, please welcome Jess Bowen to Drumeo. It's great to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
And on such short notice.
It was just planned.
We just caught you while you were in Vancouver.
Yes.
And yeah, for any of you who aren't familiar with Jess, you are the drummer for the Somerset.
Yes.
And I guess they're a band that you started playing with in middle school.
We were like a Blink-182 cover band.
Nice.
That was how we started, actually, was being like a Blink-182 cover band. And then
Yeah.
we were playing like our school dances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously we kind of progressed. In high school, we found our now singer, Brian, and
Yeah.
we just started writing, you know, like originals and
Yeah.
progressed from being a cover band that played school dances. And here we are, yeah.
Love it. And on top of the Somerset, you're obviously playing on all the records, all the live shows. You've also performed with Lights, Jax, 303,
Yes.
a bunch of others as well.
Yeah. I am very fortunate that I have a lot of friends in the industry and I have been able to play with them as well. So yeah, I love playing, like my friend Jax, I just got off tour with her and it was amazing. Like she's having an amazing moment right now. So it's really cool getting to play with her. And Lights, who is actually from here.
Yeah, I guess she lives like...
She lives like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
She just got back from Australia though, which is why I was like, you better come to see me because I haven't seen it.
You can get mad at her later.
Yeah, I'll get mad at her later. But yeah, I love playing with her as well. Also, that was a crazy thing because, I mean, growing up, I was such a huge fan of Lights. Like, I remember the MySpace days because our band was like kind of a MySpace band, and I remember finding her music. And to be honest, I didn't feel like I knew a lot of females in like our scene.
Yeah.
So she was someone that I always like looked up to. And then fast forward to, 2021, I get asked to play with her.
Nice.
I got to play a song actually on her album. I recorded drums for a song called Beside Myself. And then from there, it progressed into, getting asked to play live drums for her. And I was like, this is crazy. So
I always love that when, like we've had a few drummers on here. I think Larnell Lewis was one of the first where he's like, one day I want to play with Snarky Puppy, and years later, there it happens.
you manifest it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you kind of put it out there into the world. And,
super cool.
I love that, yeah.
And I think the first time I actually heard you play was on the Netflix documentary Count Me In.
Yes, that was a thing that I did. Yeah.
Super cool. So it's cool. Like drummers do all these things online and Netflix and whatever, and it's. I mean, you've been playing for so many years, but sometimes it takes like that one outlet or that one thing to actually
100%.
be introduced.
Yeah,
So-
no, like that documentary, speaking of which, was a huge, like, catapult for me. Like, it really helped. Like, I was kind of, I want to say cast. Obviously, it's a documentary, so
Yeah.
it's real life. But I was technically like a character, I guess, and they wanted kind of an up and coming still, like because the other drummers they were focusing on were like the Chad Smith and Cindy Blackman Santana and Stephen Perkins, and they're all established, right? They're people that I looked up to, and I was kind of put into the role of still the up and coming drummer, like making my way into the scene. But that was just a crazy experience. I mean, like I said, playing with my idols was.
Yeah.
I almost didn't do it because I was so nervous. I almost said no because I was like, nope. Like the imposter syndrome is real. I don't belong in this room with my idols playing drums. But
Well, we're glad you did it.
yeah, thank you. Me too.
That's awesome. If you want to follow Jess, all of her social links are going to be posted in the description down below. So go follow her. Make sure you check her out on tour with the Somerset and any other tours that you have upcoming. Yeah. And we do this kind of thing inside of Drumeo all the time. So there's a link down below to get a 7-day free trial to Drumeo, drumeo.com/trial. And you can check out all the methods that we have, all the drumless tracks, and full transcriptions to learn all of your favorite songs. And lots of stuff with artists just like Jess. So make sure you go check that out. And Jess was also kind enough to give us some giveaways. So once this video goes live or premieres on YouTube or in the Drumeo members area, wherever you're watching this, you can leave a comment below on YouTube or in the Drumeo members area and just let us know your favorite part of the lesson, and you can be entered to win one of these signed drum heads from Jess. And let's get into the lesson. We're talking about pop punk grooves and fills. But before we get into it, we want to hear one more song.
All right, let's do it.
From Lights, who we were talking about. And this one's called Prodigal Daughter.
Yes.
Anything we should know about this track?
Oh, I haven't played it in a little while, so give me a little. But
Some grace?
No, give me some grace. No, this was one of my favorite songs that she had released when she right before I went on tour with her. It was on her new album. One of my favorite ones to play live. It was actually the opening song of the set, and I feel like it just like really hit hard every time that we played. So it's one of my favorites. That's why I picked this one. Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
Take me to the doctor, cover me with holy water, cleanse me with fire, 'cause I am the prodigal daughter. I have been all the way down. I was a dead woman broken. You go looking for the truth until you've heard the devil talking. Now I'm making a living, crashing the algorithm, flip the pill to the cool side. Love, magic, feminism, finally found religion, laying naked on the poolside. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. They say you better be honest, but you gotta be overly cautious, so you lie to yourself. You say the high road is the longest, so you go all the way down. Leave it all at the bottom when you got nothing left to give. That's when you feel your body walking. Now I'm making a living, baby, I'm out of prison. Flip the pillow to the cool side. Love, magic, feminism, I don't need superstition, laying naked on the poolside. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. the cuffs. Run, baby, run, you're free. Now I'm making a living, crashing the algorithm. Flip the pillow to the cool side. Law of magic, feminism. Finally found religion. Laying naked on the poolside. Baby, I'm baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. Baby, I'm back. I'm back.
Nice. So you played that on the record too.
Not this song, actually.
Okay.
No, on the record I played a song called Beside Myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, this song's so fun for me. I
Yeah,
love this
some
one.
cool parts in there with like the groove on the rims.
Yeah.
And yeah, lots
I
of
think it's
creative
just
parts.
like for drummers, obviously there's a lot of parts where you have to live setting incorporate when there's drum tracks being
Yeah.
played, and live you're like, how do I still make this feel big and play,
Yeah.
the parts? And so that's kind of one of those parts that was actually like a drum machine or a track or whatever. And
Yeah.
it was like I just play over it. So
Super cool.
yeah.
Love it. So you play with the Somerset, you play with all these different artists, and earlier we were talking about you have like a pop background.
Yes.
But the Somerset, I guess you would classify as like a pop punk band.
We
So-
get classified as pop punk for sure.
Yeah. And you were
yeah.
saying especially on the earlier stuff.
Especially the earlier records. The first record for sure. And then kind of recently we're getting back to those roots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of coming back around. But
So what's your approach to playing this kind of music? You told me that you were blending elements of like what you do with the pop artists, but changing it a little bit for the Somerset.
yeah, like for our own band, I just feel like we are like, I like to say that I feel like we do lean a little more on the pop side.
Yeah.
But live, we are a rock band. Like
Yeah.
we're a pop rock, pop punk band. And so like my drum parts are very, I mean, it's definitely a little crash heavy. It's like a lot of open hi-hats and stuff. But, I think the difference between when I play with like the pop artists and when I play with my own band is I'm not trying to be like, I'm kind of sitting in as a drummer with these pop artists. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to make sure I'm playing, I don't want to do anything that's too crazy. Like I want the fills to be more tasteful. I'm not trying to be pulling a ton of things out in verses or anything like that. You just want like the tasteful fills to kind of complement the song and
Yeah.
to complement the vocals, because the vocals are what's like the most important. I think that's kind of the main difference for it, but I still bring my feel, and I think my feel is always gonna lean rock,
Yeah.
even when I'm playing with pop artists. That's just been kind of my style, I guess,
Yeah.
that I bring to it.
And then what kinds of bands did you grow up listening to? You said the Somerset started when you were just kids.
We were kids, and we were, like I said, a Blink-182 cover band. So I that's kind of my biggest influence. Obviously, like was Travis Barker, because of like my first band that I started. Like we were playing, those songs. So I was playing Travis Barker's parts, or as well as I could. I mean, I was 10 at the time. I don't think I was probably playing Anthem Part 2 perfectly or
Yeah,
anything
join the
like
club.
that. Right. I thought I was doing great. But, like I love, like my favorite band ever is Third Eye Blind. So I still have a lot of that like 90s like pocket feel kind
Yeah.
of drums that I love. Also, his name's, the drummer's Brad. He has some crazy like drum parts that he plays that, again, that kind of fits with like the vocal patterns. And that's kind of where I was starting to get like where I like follow vocals
Yeah.
when I play like drum parts a lot. But yeah, Third Eye Blind, Blink-182, I mean, bands like Jimmy Eat World
Yeah.
and Taking Back Sunday and The Starting Line, like I still have to go back to my pop punk roots because those were really the ones that very much influenced me
Yeah.
right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were talking about like playing pocket grooves and grooves that like stay out of the way of or follow the vocals or don't intrude on what's happening musically.
Right.
So maybe let's start with like what are some examples of these types of pocket grooves that you would play in some of these songs?
Oh, I mean, even just kind of what you heard in The Boys You Do, it's just like... Adding little hi-hat things here and there to me are kind of, when I speak about being like tasteful about things that you want to add, if as a drummer you're like, oh, I want to be a little more showy, I think you can do a lot with something like that that doesn't get in the way of a vocal. And that I do a lot, I mean, anyone who has seen me play knows I do a lot of the hi-hat stuff for sure. Like I tend to rely on that as when I want to be, adding a little something here or there.
Well, it's nice that even if people are used to hearing the hats in a verse, and instead of going to the toms and changing to different frequencies and stuff, it's the same sound, but just like embellishing a little bit.
Exactly, embellish like the tiniest bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, also like you said, even like I do a lot of writing on the toms. Like I will change some parts live where, like for instance on the record, if it is like closed hat the whole time, because a lot of things recorded are different. When you want to play it live, you do have to have the dynamics that kind of build it up, right? So I even change my own drum parts from what I've recorded on the record to live to be like, oh, maybe instead of playing the closed hi-hat, I'll ride on this or I'll ride on this on the rim, and then bring it halfway through the verse into the closed hat. And that kind of helps build a little bit of like a dynamic, right? And because you always, obviously the chorus needs to be the biggest, but when you're doing verse into second half of a verse into a pre-chorus, there's different dynamics you want to kind of build into.
Yeah. Could you show us maybe just an example of what that would sound like riding on the floor into second half into a chorus?
Going from that to that, I think it kind of changes, like, and obviously you want to hear the vocals, you want to hear the rest of the music, but literally just going from something that's here into the hi-hat, usually live, kind of brings that dynamic in.
I think as, especially like newer drummers who are starting out, like one of the things we always hear is, I'm struggling with coming up with new grooves or new fills and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the like biggest secrets to increasing what you can play is just changing the surfaces you're playing on.
100%.
Like, that sounds like two completely different grooves, but they're still based on the same foundation.
Exactly. Just changing, like I said, from this to this, or even using the, you know, the rim and whatnot, really changes it. And obviously opening up the hi-hat, then getting into a crash maybe in the chorus or open hi-hat for the chorus is always good.
When you're going to choruses and stuff, are you usually just kind of choosing something, or is there like a strategy behind like when you're washing on the ride or the crashes, or?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like a lot of our earlier stuff that we record. So like The Boys You Do that I played first.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much every chorus of that record, I just went to the crash.
Yeah.
And I feel like every band of that era did, right? Like it was like you go to that, and then you kind of get older and you're kind of being like, well, you know, it doesn't have to be that really loud crashing. You could do open hi-hat and still get the same effect. But I think with that music and at that time, everyone just thought every chorus was gonna be just riding on that crash. Like, and you wanted the biggest, loudest crash that you could, or like ride that you were crashing on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I think, an era type thing that maybe we're with our new album, we've gotten out of that. I do a lot more with just open hi-hats than I do with like on a crash.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then how often are you playing? We were talking a little bit before about 4 on the floor. I know some people stay away from that and they don't want to double up the kick and the snare, but then there's others who like they live for that.
To be honest, I still think that is, especially in a live element, when you bring that to a live show, the audience feels like that. There's nothing better than feeling that 4 on the floor and like a live audience, like being able to jump to that. It's just the easiest thing for people to know, like there's the beat, you know what I mean? Like they can follow that. And so I still do it a lot. You know, not as much as I used to, but I just think 4 on the floor is such a powerful groove that you can use, and especially in pop. I mean, it's definitely the most common. That's why in most pop songs it is that. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about embellishing a little bit in other ways is people might think like 4 on the floor, oh, it's so boring, but you find other ways to embellish and make it interesting.
Can you show us an example of maybe something with just like kick on 1 and 3 compared to 2 and, or compared to 4 on the floor?
Yeah.
So people can hear the difference.
So the difference, this is going to be on 1 and 3. And then. Like.
Yeah. Totally different feeling.
It's totally different. It's really driving. And again, in a live setting, it's like the audience can't do anything but want to get on that beat. Yeah. You know? So.
One thing I love is like these grooves you're gonna hear in any kind of music.
Everything.
But when it comes to like pop drumming or pop punk drumming, it almost feels like the energy and the vibe of how you're playing it is almost the biggest factor in it.
Right.
So how is that maybe different from what you would hear on like in a different setting? Like what's the pop punk like energy? How does that make it different?
Oh, I mean, I think the pop punk energy is just the speed that you play it and how much energy you're putting into it, right?
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't you say? So it'd be like even that 4 on the floor. that's to me like if I'm playing live, like that's going to be like my energy for even a 4 on the floor beat. You know?
Because you could hear like the same notes played on like a Paul Simon record or a, I don't know, like anything.
It could just different. It really does. You're right. It's kind of like the feel and the way that like the energy that you're putting into it and how you want it to sound. Which that's a whole other thing in itself.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, like one thing I love for any like beginners out there who are struggling with this type of thing is if you learn like these kinds of core grooves, like you can play how many kinds of music, how many songs is just that.
Completely.
Yeah, that's like the golden ticket.
It's like just being able to play that. That was the first beat I ever learned.
Yeah.
And you can incorporate that into any song, and even if it technically isn't the song's beat, most of the time it still sounds like it is, right?
Totally.
So.
There's a part you wanted to talk about called, or the song "Lightning in a Bottle."
Oh yeah.
You said there was in the pre-chorus, there's like a tom thing.
Yeah, in the pre-chorus, so talking about dynamics, this was just like something that, came to me with like the song, and it's just like bringing in the toms, incorporating the toms after having like, it's a very pocket groove for the verses, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into this like kind of halftime feel for the pre-chorus.
Nice.
So it kind of breaks up from the verse to getting into this chorus where you want the chorus to sound huge. You have this halftime groove that kind of comes in on the toms, and it brings it down. But then the second that you like it comes down, and then I do a little build up, and then you get into the chorus, and it's just this huge moment. And like live, again, it just goes off so hard. Even if you don't know the song, it's like you just know it's coming. You can feel that like you're like at this halftime, and then you're like, oh, there's a build up, stop. Here's the chorus drop. You know what I mean? It's like a drop moment.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You mind demoing that?
Sure.
Love to hear it.
Do you want to hear just the pre-chorus into the chorus?
Yeah, let's do that.
Essentially that.
Yeah.
I think I'll play along with it later, but yeah, that's essentially that groove in that little pre-chorus part.
Oh, you can hear like the tension.
The tension builds up. It builds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's like one of the most underrated like tools that we have as drummers is dynamics. Like you could play the same part through the whole song, but if you just like gradually increase it,
100%,
like, changes everything.
100%. And it took me a while as a drummer to even understand that dynamics was a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm still a heavy hitter, and that's probably like maybe to a fault a little bit, but it's like I do know a little bit more about dynamics. But before I used to just hit everything really hard, and you're like, but there's moments that do need to come down a little bit in order to have that effect where it gets bigger. You know,
and you can almost, I'm sure you see this every night you're playing, but when you go down to that lower dynamic, like you can see the room, like you're just like holding them in the palm of your hand.
Exactly.
And you can like almost like control the audience and bring them up to that drop.
Exactly.
So cool.
It's so much fun. And so it's like, I needed to like really understand that dynamics were like very important, you know, and I think drummers, we kind of overlook that, especially when we're first starting, because I know that I overlooked it for sure.
Just want to play loud and like.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm here. You know, like you're like, I'm just like Animal from the Muppets. I'm just like, like hitting. And it's like, yes, but like, you don't even understand that your presence could be just as big bringing it down. It actually, like you said, you have them in the palm of your hand then.
Yeah, it's almost like if your range is bigger, like your louds are louder and your quiets are, or your softers are softer.
Right.
Whatever you want to say. But yeah, it's like the difference between your loud and soft is like, that's everything.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Love that.
Yeah.
There's one other groove from a song called Someone Like You, and you're showing me this really cool ride pattern that you have.
At the end of that song, so the whole song is pretty much, it's a in the pocket thing, but at the very end, I kind of go into this like, this part that, because it was like, we wanted an outro, and so this was my outro to it. So it was kind of just doing a little of that bell riding with like a little Latin-y feel,
Yeah.
maybe.
Can sense some Travis Barker influence on that.
Well, yes, and again, it's
Just a
like I'm
little bit.
always gonna have that Travis feel. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite thing when in the studio. It's just like, all right, now just incorporate some Travis Barker. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got you. All right, let's do it.
Which part?
Yeah.
That's so cool. But like we hear that with so many drummers. Like Tosh was in recently, and you could hear like a few things
Oh,
that he's
yeah.
pulled from other records, and
100%.
it's cool. Like there's those legends that we all look up to as kids, and we pull different things from them, and they like work their way into our original parts and stuff. And
That's the cool thing about it. Yeah, there's so many influences that you have, and it's like you don't even know that you're like, obviously you're gonna pull those. Like
Yeah.
you're playing those drums. Like if you grew up playing it, like that's what you're
like
gonna
part of
kind
you.
of bring into whenever
Yeah.
you do your own projects
Yeah.
and stuff. So,
Super cool.
Yeah.
You were mentioning earlier we were talking about fills, and you called them just like tasteful fills, and either following the vocal or staying out of the way of kind of the same as what we talked about with grooves. But
Right.
like, what are some examples of fills that don't get in the way, or what are some go-tos that you know are going to work every time, and they'll like make the transition, or they'll
Oh, they're always so simple. I mean, even in that first song that I just did, the Boys You Do. Well, there was that. I like to take credit for this little iconic moment of the. Because that is something that live, like our fans, like go crazy once they hear that. But other tasteful fills, like in that song, for instance, it's like I'm coming from the hat and I get it. I got to bring the snare in eventually, and it's just a simple. Like it's so simple. And
Yeah.
even getting into the chorus, I just kind of build up on the kick drum. Like I add more kicks, so it's kind of building up like. That's my fill into the chorus. It's
Nice.
so simple for that. A lot of the fills in that song are just very, very like, even just like things like that.
Yeah.
I like to do a lot of like hi-hat fills. Like I said, like, I don't know if you noticed in that verse, like. Even things like that, just like, I just feel like those stay more out of the way than trying to come with some like crazy, like, how many drums can you hit in this like amount of time?
Well, and I think there's probably a lot of drummers out there who they've listened to Blink or they've listened to other bands, and that I think that was my perception of like pop punk music was it's this, like these 2 or 3 drummers, but that's not the only way to do it.
Right.
Like there's a lot of other bands in that genre of music where it is much more simple.
100%.
And
it
works.
I finally, once I realized, I was like, you know what? I came to terms with the fact that I was like, I do think simple is better.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes, at least for, this is, again, and this is my feel, this is my take on it. Drummers are all different. And there's probably, I mean, in certain other styles of music, you don't want to be as simple maybe. But like for me, playing in this pop rock world, the simplicity is actually bigger and better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you've got to know the artist you're working with. In this case, it's your own band, so I'm
Right.
sure you have lots more liberties.
Yeah.
But you've also played with a lot of those artists where you're recreating the digital tracks, or
Yes.
how are you complementing what's already in the tracks that you're playing over top of?
Right, and that's
those types of
exactly like you
things.
said. That's kind of playing with these other artists helped bring for me into my own band the like, I could have the liberties to do probably a lot more, but because I've like now played with these other pop artists, I'm like, no, like this is what makes these songs good, is kind of letting the songs breathe and not having the drums be so like over the top or anything like that. So I'm you know, very simple.
Yeah. Even thinking like that one fill you just demoed, like all those Motown fills from like the 70s, the Pat Boone, Debbie Boone, doon, doon.
I love those. Those are my favorite fills.
There's a reason they work.
Yeah.
Like it's short, you can make it as short as you want, or you can extend it.
100%.
But it's also predictable for the listener, where it's not like, whoa, what did I just listen to? And even what you were talking about with the fill and the Boys You Do, it's something that I'm sure the audience can, it's like a drum hook almost.
Exactly.
They're waiting
It's a
to air
hook.
drum it.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And like they know, and it's the drummers know that's the simplest fill that you could do.
You don't have to be a scientist to figure it out and like air drum with you.
Exactly. It's almost that kind of in the air tonight moment.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Where you're just like,
Yeah, simple, but they can figure it out.
For sure.
It's awesome. You want to jump into the next track?
Sure, let's do it.
Cool. This is Cinderella Snapped by Jax.
Yes.
So is there like a different approach to playing this track compared to the Somerset?
Yeah, well, actually, what's funny with this song, again, when you come into certain artists, like the drums in this are not, I have to come in as the live drummer and be like, how do I interpret this? Because pop songs especially, it's usually not actual drums that are being played. So there's sounds, there's moments, there's feels that I'm incorporating. So this whole part that I'm playing is actually like not even what's on like the actual recording. It's just what I do live because it just, to me, fits it better. But yeah, I love the song, and Jax is a good friend, so I loved being able to play this one with her.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is Cinderella Snapped.
Once upon a time, there was a princess waiting for a boy to give. Pack a shoe, suck it in, be a wife in a blue dress, the prettiest piece of property the land ever knew. She waited and she waited for the guy to show, but she didn't know that after midnight he was busy in her stepsister's bed. So Cinderella said, plot twist, I don't need no prince to save me. I'm a dog CEO. Don't call me baby, equal pay me. Snow White said you tried to kiss her, so I'll just buy a new glass slipper and burn your castle down. And kids, that's how Cinderella snapped. When the smoke cleared, every girl in the whole land woke the fuck up and started making demands. Rapunzel shaved her head so there was nothing to climb on. Jasmine made out with Mulan. Sleeping Beauty sued the dude who kissed her while she was asleep. And Ariel was confident without any feet. Rihanna went and got a biomedical degree. And Beauty realized that she was the beast. I don't need no prince to save me. I'm a dog CEO. Don't call me baby, equal pay me. Snow White said you tried to kiss her, so I'll just buy a new glass slipper and burn your castle down. And kids, that's how Cinderella snapped. You said, Cindy, sweetie, don't be so emotional. You're always so emotional. It's fine to be controllable. If I'm emotional, that'd be the reason for you to adjust me while you're on your knees. And the scary effect that I get too emotional during your show. So watch how you're sleeping. Cause while you're sleeping around every weekend and using your power to bring on the weak, it's like you in legislation all season. And last I checked, cheating is treason. I don't need no prince to save me. I'm a dog CEO. Don't call me baby, equal pay me. Snow White said you tried to kiss her, so I'll just buy a new glass slipper and burn your castle down. And kids, that's how Cinderella snapped.
Nice. It's a great tune.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love like all the different, like you're going from the flams on the snare, left hand on the hi-hat stuff. Like, lots of like cool drum stuff happening in that.
Yeah, I think it's a fun little groove, and like I said, just kind of bringing in certain things to change the dynamics. Because again, on the record, it was like you kind of listen to it and you're like, all right, what am I gonna do live to make this work?
I think you can hear exactly what you were talking about, where you're following the vocals. Like there's the triplet fills you're doing that are. It's crazy that Jax is singing like. This is pretty fast vocal lines.
Yeah, you hear like she's like essentially like doing like a rap almost in that part. And it's like all in one breath, which was insane. Live, it's like I don't know how she did it, but
jeez, and then you're doubling up.
I just kind of double it once I do that fill into that last chorus. Yeah, I might have played it sloppy. Sorry, again, I haven't played that song in a while.
Great. But I think that's even a great takeaway for any drummers out there is if you're struggling for a part to come up with if you're changing up a cover song or if you're making an original. Like just listen to what else is happening in the music.
Exactly.
And it's gonna tell you.
It'll tell you what part feels right. Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
Thank you.
Jess, we're almost out of time.
Aww.
We've got one more song we'll do at the end, but of course we want everyone to go check you out on tour. with the summer set. I know next year you're probably going to do some stuff later in the year.
Yes, we haven't announced it yet, but we've got some stuff. So obviously, just like keep a lookout for it.
Yeah, nice. And then any like final thoughts, big like lessons you've learned from up to this point in your career? Yeah, anything you want to share?
I mean, honestly, I think again, as a drummer, like what my take on it for the way I like to play, and anyone could take this or leave it. Again, pocket is really important. Tasteful fills, just kind of playing to the music, playing to the vocals, making sure you're not kind of covering things up. And also just have fun with drumming. Drumming is so much fun, right? Like if you're just starting out and you're just learning and you just, like I remember all I ever did was sit down and play my favorite band's songs.
Yeah.
And I was just having the time of my life. So it doesn't have to be that serious. And I have to remind myself that sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
like,
we all?
I take it too seriously sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, like just have fun.
Yeah.
Like drums are fun to play. Just
Yeah.
do and when you think of it that way, it doesn't feel like you're practicing either. You just get to do it, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
So
I think even asking yourself like, why do you want to play blast beats at 400 BPM? Is there a reason to do that? Or like the importance of just learning how to play a simple groove really solid. It's harder than we all think.
it is, honestly.
Solid time, like 60 BPM or whatever, those slower
Oh my God,
tempos.
sometimes trying to get in that pocket of like, I have played with artists where it was like more of a softer feel and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh wow, and it's slower and I had to like get into that pocket and yeah, the things that people think are easy sometimes are the hardest things.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I said, just have fun.
And I think chances are like we all grew up just like listening to records and playing
Exactly.
along with music we liked.
Playing along to the bands that we loved, and
Yeah.
that's what got us here today, right? So yeah.
And before we go, once again, for the giveaways, once this is posted on YouTube or in the members area, just drop your favorite part of the lesson down in the comments, and we're going to randomly choose a winner in the Drumeo members area and on YouTube in the comments. And yeah, we'll send you one of these signed drum heads from Jess. Jess, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This was so
great.
much fun.
And also stay tuned. We filmed some crazy videos with Jess where we gave her some music she didn't know, and I think you're going to be rather surprised.
You will be.
And those are going to be insane.
Oh my God, I still can't believe it. I was so scared, but you know what? We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. That's all.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, and we can't wait for you to see it. Well, let's close with this is another song from your band, the Somerset, called "Lightning in a Bottle."
Yes.
And yeah, I guess where does this fall in the set usually?
So actually, this is the last song that we play in the set. We
Okay,
always close with
perfect.
this. And I will say that, again, the recording is a little different than the live as far as we do add some moments here and there. And at the very end, we do have like a whole like outro that we added. But
Yeah,
here's the recorded version of it.
Nice.
And it's still fun.
love it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Out in the wild, party nowhere land. We start a fire, sparklers in every hand. No phones, let go, cut all the strings tonight. Singing aloud, howling right at the moon. We're making out, life's never felt so good. Bring on the storm, we're riding out tonight. Then you lost your shoes as it started to rain. And your jeans so through, but you're smiling away. Throw the hearts in the air, hearts in the air, hearts in the air. We're catching lightning in a bottle. Don't give a fuck about tomorrow. Yeah, we're dancing in the backseat. We don't need gravity here in the afterglow. Yeah, we're rolling with the thunder. Now take a breath, we're going under. We're getting busy on the back streets. We don't need gravity here in the afterglow. Back of the car, blankets and me and you. We're running on, perfectly wasted you. I hold you close, we call us home tonight. And the fake tattoo that you drew on my arm had an X and an O, never change who you are. Throw the hearts in the air, hearts in the air, hearts in the air. We're catching lightning in a bottle. Don't give a fuck about tomorrow. Yeah, we're dancing in the backseat. underneath. I got the breath of a last cigarette on my teeth. And she's an actress, but she ain't got no need. She's got money from her parents in a trust fund back east. Tongues always pressed to your cheeks, while my tongue is on the inside of some other girl's teeth. You tell your boyfriend if he says he's got beef that I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me. X's on the back of your hands. Wash them in the bathroom to drink like the bands. And the set list you stole off the stage had red and purple lipstick all over the page. Bruises cover your arms, shaking in the fingers with the bottle in your palm. And the best is no one knows who you are, just another girl alone at the bar.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me. Shush, girl, shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips. I said, shush, girl, shut your lips.